right. Section one, putting the ball in play. All right. So to start each half and to resume play after the field goal or after a try, the ball should be put in play by a kickoff. And this has been repeated even in Rule Three in 3-2-1. So we know the beginning of a game is going to be a kickoff. That's pretty much. If you don't know that, you don't watch football. I think everybody knows that we all start a game off with a kickoff. But again, it reiterates it in Rule 4. Okay. Also, we're going to do a kickoff after safety. When a free kick down is replayed, obviously. When a free kick is chosen following a fair catch or an awarded fair catch. All right. A free kick shall be made between the hash marks. So everything, and that's going to be important because when we get down to the end of this, we're going to be talking about hash marks again. But all free kicks will be made between the hash marks. And snap shall put the ball in play when the free kick is not specified. So on an awarded fair catch, you can elect to do a free kick, or you can elect to do a kick, and that's basically what that's referring to. Okay, a live ball, and this is Rule 2-1-2. A live ball is it's a ball in play. A ball becomes live when the ball has been legally snapped or free kicked, and the down and the down is in progress. All right. So only way to get a ball from being dead to live is through a snap and a kick, a legal snap and a legal free kick. That's the only way we can get the ball live. Rule 415 say after being put in play, the ball remains live until the down ends. Real important. A good spec. Let's keep going. Now, let's talk about the football fundamentals. You can find this in page 83 of your rule book. The football fundamentals are the immutable truths. So you got a big long rule book, but when we get down to the fundamentals, hey guys, one of you guys are putting yourself off of mute. When you come on, please make sure you're on mute, okay? All right. In the football fundamentals, it literally discuss certain truths that we got a long rule book, but if you go to the football fundamentals, if you know those, then anything you are thinking of that doesn't agree with that is definitely wrong. So let's look about football fundamentals when it comes down to dead balls. A game official's whistle seldom kills the ball. It is already dead by rule. This is a very, very important fundamental. And the reason why, we always hear coaches say what? Tell their players to do what? Play until the whistle blows, right? However, the whistle doesn't kill the play. The play is already dead, and then we blow our whistle. So it's always the onus is on the player to know when to stop hitting, and to know when to stop blocking, and to know when to stop tackling. All right. So when a player steps out of bounds, the play is dead. Then we blow the whistle. If we blow the whistle prior to the play being dead, then we have an inadvertent whistle. So always remember that just because coach they play until the whistle blown, that doesn't give them an excuse to hit a player when the play is over. And they got to know when the player's knee on the ground, the play is over. Hit them if you want, you're gonna get a personal foul. That's with anybody on the field. So a game official whistle seldom kills the ball. It is already dead by rule. No live ball foul causes the ball to become dead. And again, we already read that when the ball becomes live, it's live until the down is over. So personal foul, any type of foul that happens on the field, it does not cause uh, the ball to become dead, unless you rip off the face mask off the runner, and then it causes it to be dead. All right, guys, remember when you come on, like I said again, mute your phones. It should automatically take everybody to mute, but apparently it's not. So just make sure you got a little X in the button over there that says your uh, volume is off. Okay. A dead ball may become live only by legal snap and free kick. We know that. Catching is always preceded by touching of a ball. Thus, if touching caused the ball to become dead, securing possession of the ball has no significance. So basically, if you step out of bounds and you're literally out of bounds when you touch the ball is dead, right? So uh, the ball is dead. So trying to secure it doesn't make a difference because it's dead when you touch it because you're already out of bounds, right? So those are the football fundamentals. You can find them at page 83. So rule 2, a dead ball. A dead ball is a ball not in play. The ball is dead during intervals between downs. And we're going to look at that for a little bit. All right. So this is like basically a game timeline, right? You have the ready for play, and then you have a 40, 25-second play clock, and then you have a legal snap or kick, and the ball is live. And then when there's a tackle or the ball becomes dead, is the end of the down, and it's a dead ball. So if you so there's two different dead balls. You got a dead ball prior to the snap, like right before the ready for play, and then the ready for play, and then you have a dead ball at the end of the play when an official blows his whistle and he kills the down. Well, the down is already in, then he blows the whistle. All right. So dead ball before the snap. All right. So what the rule 4 says about a dead ball before the snap, between 40 and 25-second play clock, it is a little bit even before they're ready for play. When the teams are separated on either side of the ball. Let's look at it right quick. So look at the dead ball, just dealing with the ready for play. All right. The ball remains dead and the down is not begun if a snap or free kick is attempted, and Rule 416 before they're ready for play. So that happens sometimes, right? The referee did not get ready for play either for a free kick or after a timeout, or after official timeout, and they snap the ball or they kick the ball. All right, the ball remains dead. Now, by rule, this is a delay of game. Typically, we don't give a delay of game. We just put the ball. We just reset the ball. But this is by rule a delay of game to snap the ball or kick the ball before they're ready for play. An illegal snap, and when we get to Rule 7, we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. Other snap infractions, again in Rule 7, we'll talk about it. And a dead ball foul occurs, like illegal substitution, encroachment, things of that nature. All of those will cause the ball to remain dead. So here we go. Again, timeline. We got dead ball ready for play, live ball, then dead ball. This will all these 4 would prevent the ball becoming live. And the rule says that a game official should indicate the ball remains dead by sounding his whistle immediately when a foul occurs before a snap or free kick. All right, so that's what we do. If you came out, we had about three officials that came out on Super Bowl Sunday. Our most dedicated officials came out and hanged out with me yesterday, and we went over this with the new officials about how to blow your whistle and dead ball and what's the sequence on how you do that. Is it whistle, flag, stop clock, or is it stop clock, whistle, flag? We talked about that, and again, we'll talk about it later in the future. Oh, here we go. In the game manual, it says observe a dead ball foul. Whistle, sound your whistle, toss your penalty marker into the air, and then give the timeout signal twice immediately. Now, the problem or the issue, or however you want to say it, what I'm always seeing out there is officials blowing the whistle, throwing their flag, but not stopping the clock, not doing signal 3. And I don't know why it's such a difficult thing to do, but it seems like it is when you look at a lot of different officials. And again, I always say that's the difference between a trained official and an untrained official. Uh, and it's the sequence: you blow your whistle, you toss your flag in the air, and you give a timeout signal twice. The mechanics manual said you do it twice, not once. You do it twice, and it should always be done uh, when we have a dead ball foul. Even when the clock is not running, we use a stop clock signal. All right. So live ball to dead ball. So we talked about very briefly on the ready for play and that dead ball sequence. And now we're going to spend most of our time talking about how the live ball becomes dead. That's pretty much what this section is all about. The dead ball fouls that happen after the live ball foul are typically going to be personal fouls. You're probably not going to see too many 5 yard foul penalties called once the ball becomes dead. A foul after the ball becomes dead after a live ball. But that we'll address that when we get to Rule 9. But we're gonna spend most of our time talking about how a live ball becomes a dead ball. Right? Rule 415 says after being put in play, the ball remains live until the down ends. All right, so 422A. The ball becomes dead and the down is ended when a runner goes out of bounds, and this is all in the same one, held so his forward progress is stopped, or allows any part of his person other than his hand or foot to touch the ground. Now, all of this is in one paragraph, and I just broke it down because sometimes when you have all this, when you're reading a rule book and you have all these words bunched up together, sometimes it's very difficult to grasp what it's saying. So anytime I'm in a rule book, I like to write everything down separately or separate it so that I can look at it, understand it, and then get it. So let's talk about out of bounds. All right. So when a runner goes out of bounds, and we're going to do two things about on this address. We're going to talk about when we stop the clock and the runner go out of bounds. In Rule 3, we talked about stopping clocks, but I really held off about discussing this part of it because I knew it was discussed in Rule 4. So we're going to tie them in together because the question is, when a runner go out of bounds, do we always stop the clock? Now, we know there's 3 ways for a runner to go out of bounds, right? Let's see what I put here. All right, stop clock mechanics, Rule 344. The game clock should be stopped when the ball goes out of bounds, i.e. the runner. When ruling to stop the clock, we first must determine when the runner's forward progress stop, inbounds or out of bounds. Again, there's 3 ways for a runner to go out of bounds. He can go forward, he can go parallel, or lateral, or he can go backwards. Okay, there's 3 different ways a runner can go out of bounds. All right. So let's say the runner got hit from behind, and then the runner goes out of bounds forward. Well, his forward progress was stopped out of bounds. So because his forward progress stopped out of bounds, he was on the 40, it was on the 50, went out of bounds on the 45-yard line, out of bounds. We're going to stop the clock, right? So we will stop the clock for that particular hit because he went out of bounds and his forward progress was stopped out of bounds, right? And then we're going to give signal 3. Now, what if the runner get hit from the side and he goes out of bounds parallel? Well, this is the same yard line, and we determined that his forward progress was stopped on the same yard line. The contact was drove him lateral parallel out of bounds. Forward progress was stopped in bounds, so the clock will run, and we should be given to wind the clock. All right. And last, what if he get hit in the front? All right. So now he's out of bounds, going backwards. He's definitely, his forward progress was stopped inbounds, and he went backwards. So because it's forward progress was stopped inbounds, the clock will run. All right. So there's only one way we're going to stop the clock when a runner goes out of bounds, and that's when he go out of bounds toward his opponent's goal line. All right. So if you're on the same yard line or going backwards, um, we're going to let the clock going to continue to run. If he goes forward or just a 1 yard forward and gain a yard and go out of bounds, the clock will stop. All right. So just for new officials and those that ever wonder, like, he went out of bounds while the clock is still running, it all depends how he went out of bounds. And that's in Rule 3. It talks about a receiver who caught the ball, and it said the game clock was stopped with the exception of he goes backwards. Why? Because his forward progress was stopped in bounds. All right. So the runner goes out of bounds. Now, it also, the next one, that the down ends when a runner is held, so his forward progress is stopped. In Rule 215.1, it says forward progress is the end of advancement of the ball toward the opponent's goal. If a runner's possession or the forwardmost point of the ball when it is fumbled out of bounds, and it determines the dead ball spot. All right. So forward progress is very important. And when a runner's forward progress on his own momentum is stopped, the ball is dead. Now let's look at a little video here.
According to the rules, forward progress is the end of an advancement of the ball towards the opponent's goal when the ball is in a runner's possession. When a runner is hit and driven back, such as on this play, the runner is credited with the yardage he gained before he was driven back. The ball is correctly placed where he was when his movement toward Team B's goal line ended, not where he landed after being hit by the defender.
All right. So, and this is something that we have a challenge when we're dealing with new officials, is a runner get hit and drove in back, and they follow the runner, trying to stay with the play, and then they mark the forward progress, or they mark the spot basically where the runner ends up. So it's very important for new officials to know that, hey, if I got to the 49-yard line, I keep that 49 even though I get driven back. Is there sometimes that won't happen? Yes. If I get bumped and I start running on my own and I'm not held, it says when the runner is held, forward progress is stopped, the play ends. So if I got hit and I got driven back and I loop around the other way, then yes, he lose that forward progress because he wasn't held. Now, this is another one that happened over the weekend. And let's look at this one here. So at the snap here, the quarterback decided to run. So the quarterback gets to about the 49-yard on B's 49 when contact is made, and he's getting driven back. Now I want you to know something. The referee did not just run to the spot. Okay, when a player's running back, your safety is also important. So don't get the mental spot. But if you see the official across from where he went out of bounds, that's what we call cross ball spotting. Okay, and that's very important. So when you're the opposite wing official and you see that your official is can't get the spot because of players in their way and could be dangerous, then you have to get the spot for your wing official, that's called cross field spotting, and which is very important. So after you see here, so after everybody clears out the way, boom, 49-yard line. Okay, so that's great mechanics, great work by the crew. All right, so look at the game official manual, and I want you to notice something here. After the snap on page 44 of the manual, it says, be alert for quick plays into the line and assist in marking forward progress with the downfield foot. It also says, and I just found everything. It has the same tone and same message. You can read page 44 when your books did come in. I will get them out to you. Your manuals did come in. I do have those. So it's a sound whistles when ball becomes dead and mark forward progress with downfield foot. It says square off forward progress by moving down the sideline to the spot the ball became dead, and then move perpendicular in toward the center of the field, no further than the 9-yard marks. So this is the big thing with me, and when I go out there and I look at officials, I know a lot of officials don't have this manual, and they be doing all kind of wacky things and made up mechanics or whatever they think they should be doing. But I want to look at a couple of things here. Downfield foot. So even the when you get down to the mechanics manual, it's not a rule book, right? Rule books can be some judgment going on. We can make our own decisions. When it gets down to the rule book, there's no judgment. This is how we do it, period. So here, and a lot of times I got a couple of officials and they're getting better at it. When you marking the ball, you do it with your downfield foot. I see some officials marking the ball with their upfield foot. What I mean by that is if we're going to my right, my downfield foot is my right. So when I mark the ball or I'm trying to give the umpire the spot, whoever spotting the ball, I lead him with my right foot, not my left foot. If we're going left, I lead him with my left foot, not my right foot. It may sound trivial, but again, there's a difference between a trained official and an untrained official. The manual said we mark the ball with our downfield foot. So get used to that. Also, square off. Again, this is a big indicators. These are all indicators between official who has been properly trained and official who just came out there and just faking it. Squaring off. The basic but often forgotten mechanic is squaring off at the end of the play. As seen in the memogram here, the covering official should make a 90-degree turn when marking the spot of forward progress. Squaring off lends credibility to the determination of forward progress. Right? So you see some officials, they'll round off. They'll come up and they'll just round instead of going like a military 90-degree turn. So we square off when we get the spot. And so when we're out there this weekend, we got jamborees in St. Pete this weekend. I'm waiting to get the final schedule, and I'll let you guys know. The first priority goes to those who actually enroll in the course, and then we're filling that from there who can make it. But we got a jamboree this weekend and a jamboree again next weekend. So when you're out there and you're getting the spot, and I say you need to square off, you know exactly what I'm referring to, and it won't be like a deer looking at me with a blank stare, like, what are you talking about? Now, this weekend we did some drills, and my boys didn't know I was going to do this, but hey, it fit in perfectly what we're doing. So we did what I call get to the ball drills. We had some cones out, and we did some mechanics, and they didn't realize that what they was doing was squaring off and getting the spot without me telling them that's what they was doing. That was it doing. So let me show you what we was doing over the weekend on Sunday. On Super Bowl Sunday, I had one official all the way from Lakeland. He was about an hour from here. He showed up, and I had another official from Riverview, about 45 minutes. He came up to the Skyway. So And then we had another official who lived close. Don't want to forget him. We had three officials that came out this yesterday in a very windy Super Bowl Sunday. So let me show you what we worked on. Ready? Go. Good job. So we worked on how to shuffle. And when we have the first down. All right. So that's what we worked on. We worked on a lot more than that, but I just wanted to show you some of the stuff we did yesterday. All right. So a big thing here about forward progress and when it's stopped. And what we don't want to happen is a cheap fumble. And as an official, you got to understand that, and this is a popular technique, is a rip technique, which is okay if the player is still advancing. But if a player got his forward progress stopped and getting pushed back, and then the ball become loose, it's not a fumble. It's a dead ball. So you gotta know that just because the ball got ripped out and you're going to try to rule a fumble, if his forward progress was stopped, it's not a fumble. It's dead. If he's still moving forward and then it comes out, then you have your fumble. Okay. So don't watch out for cheap turnovers because we didn't blow the whistle or we didn't rule the runners down, even though the runners getting either. I mean, held don't mean moving. Held means I'm stopped. I'm not going no longer. I'm no longer going forward. I could be going backwards or I can remain on the same yard line. So even though I'm on the same yard line and I'm not moving forward, the play's over. Blow your whistle and prevent these cheap fumbles. All right. So let's go on. All right, we looked at all those. All right, and then allows any part of his person other than the hand or foot to touch the ground. So again, you got to watch out if before the ball, let's say the ball came loose, before the ball became loose, did his knee touch the ground first before the ball became loose? Did his side of his leg touch the ground? Did his elbow touch the ground before the ball became loose? So all these things, if it's not his hand or his foot, the play is dead. So with the exception of the place kick holder. Now, with the exception that's listed, the place kick holder is the only one that is allowed to be on his knees and keep a ball live. Now, unlike NCAA, in National Federation of High School rules, he cannot pass it or pitch it unless he gets up. Okay. So in college, you can still pass it on your knees. However, in high school rules, you have to get back up to be able to pass it, run with it, anything like that. All right. So he has to be in position to receive a snap, and it has to be someone back there to kick it. So he just can't be there by himself. There has to be a person in position to kick it, and then he can get up and pass it. Now, also, if it's a errant snap, say it goes high, he can jump up as long as he go back down immediately to the ground to his knee. The ball remains live; it don't become dead. Um, However, if the ball becomes dead, the ball becomes dead if the place kick holder muffs the snap or fumble and recovers after his knees have been off the ground, and he then touches the ground with other than hand or foot while in possession of the ball. So if let's say he hits in his hand, he don't get possession of it, a perfect snap, or he fumbles it. If he take his knee off the ground to get it and then go back down, it's a dead ball. All right. Now, if he stays on his knees, it's fine. But if he gets off his knees, we have a problem. All right. So here we go. All right. So let me go back. Well, I'm sorry about that. Uh, okay. When any forward pass, illegal or illegal, is incomplete or is simultaneously caught by opposing players. This is very important because I saw some video clips. I didn't put it on here, but I saw some video clips where the receivers went up, a defender and offense, and they both caught the ball simultaneously, and they came down, and the official was waiting. I guess waiting for somebody to steal it, whatever. Understand, if anytime a ball is joint possessed, it's dead. We don't allow them to fight for the ball, right? So if two receivers go up and they both, if you rule they simultaneously caught the ball, once they both land in bounds, it's dead. The offensive player can't rip it from the defensive player, and the defensive player can't rip it from the offensive player. Once they're simultaneously caught or even simultaneously recovered, the play is over. Whistle blown is over. So I know a lot of us watch NFL and watch college football, and we like to bleed those activities into youth and high school, and that's the whole reason why we're doing the training. Don't allow what you see over in those on those events bleed into high school and youth. It's completely different when it gets down to the rules, and when it's simultaneously caught or recovered, the play is over and it belongs to offense. If it's a scrimmage play, if it's a kicking play, like a scrimmage kick, and is jointly recovered, it belongs to R, but not K, which is A. But that's the kicking rules, and that's different. But just know that, okay? All right. When any legal free kick or scrimmage kick, now this right here is a lot, and I didn't type it down because there's maybe a lot of typing I have to do. But it says, let me see, that's D. Okay. When any legal free kick or scrimmage kick, which is not a scoring attempt or which is a grounded scoring attempt, breaks the plane of ours goal line. So what it's trying to say is that even though a scrimmage kick going to break the goal line, and typically that would be dead. If it's a scoring kick, it remains live. If it looks like the score is not going to make it, let's say you do a field goal, and let's say kicking from the 50, kick the field goal, and it didn't make it to the goal, and it stopped. Let's say it hit the 5 yard line, and then it rolled. Once it goes into the once it roll into the end zone, it becomes dead. All right, so R cannot pick it up out of the end zone and run it out. Once they get in there, it's dead. And it also says, which is a scoring attempt while in flight, touches K player in R's end zone, or after breaking the plane, R's goal line apparently failed. So basically saying, if I if I kick if I kick the ball for a field goal, and one of my players are in the end zone and it's hit a helmet, and it catacombs through the goal is no good. The play's dead. It can hit R. It can hit a referee. It just can't hit a K player. Now, if it hits a K player in the field of play, it's legal. It just can't hit K in the end zone. Right? And when any loose ball, and it goes is simultaneously caught or recovered by opposing players. We talked about that. Is on the ground motionless and no player attempts to secure possession. So again, if the ball is rolling and it stopped and no one is trying to pick it up, it becomes dead. So give you an example. Let's say the ball was rolling, and you see this occasionally, and y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. The the runner thought he crossed the goal line and he drops the football, but yet he did not cross the goal line. That he dropped it. He fumbled it. And then the ball hits the 1 yard line, and then it rolls into the end zone. Right? the covering official did not signal touchdown because it's not. But let's say A thought they scored a touchdown and B thought they scored a touchdown, and the ball stays there and no one takes possession of the ball. The covering official is going to rule it dead and then give A a touchdown. Right? So by rule, a loose ball in the end zone, not possessed, still belongs to the team who had last possession of it, and it's a touchdown. But let's say it landed on the 1 yard line and no one tried to get it, it's dead. And you see it on kicks all the time. The ball would be kicked, and R gets out the way, and then it sits there, and then K thinks they have to touch it, and they touch it, and it's dead. So all those things like that exist, right? And then the last one is touches or is touched by anything inbounds other than a player, substitute, replace player, game official, the ground, or authorized equipment. In this case, the ball would be put in play in accordance with the procedures of an inadvertent whistle. All right, let's move on. All right, when the kickers catch or recover any free kick anywhere. Again, I don't know why people think K can recover a kick and then run it into their end zone. Even if R touch it, it's still considered a kick because the kick doesn't end until it's possessed or dead by rule. So if R touches if R touches the ball on a free kick or a scrimmage kick or punt, and yes, K has a legal right to recover it. They just can't advance it. Once they catch or once they recover it, the play is over. Whistle's blown. All right, and we got more because there's a lot on a live ball becoming dead. All right. All right, following a valid and invalid fair catch signal given by any R player. So even if the player, the deepest player, give the fair catch signal, once any R player catches and recover the ball, is dead. And just pay attention to that. When any score occurs, obviously. During a try if B secures possession or as soon as it is apparent that a kick has failed to score. Remember, this is not college, it's not NFL. B, our defense cannot run back a try. Once D grabs the possession of the ball, it's dead, it's over. All right, when a game official sound his or her whistle inadvertently, naughty, and when the helmet comes completely off the runner. So if the runner comes off, and so I in the fundamentals it says that there's no foul that caused a live ball to become dead. And then I thought about this. I'm thinking about what if a face mask foul rips off the helmet off the runner? The foul caused the play to be dead. That's just me thinking. And when a prosthetic limb comes completely off the runner, all right? So you got a fake arm, it comes off, it's dead, all right? So these are what kills a dead. Now, let's talk about the most the unpardonable sin. That's the inadvertent whistle. This is a stain on any game. We had some happen in the championship games where defense recovered the ball and they was running for the go ahead touchdown and an official blew ready for play, blew an inadvertent whistle. And then just messed that all up. So let's talk about inadvertent whistles. And these came out of different articles I had over the time. It says an inadvertent whistle, the most common and the most visible form of officiating mistakes. In National Federation Preseason Guide 2006, a premature whistle is the bane of football officiating, which means it is bad. In the Rating Study Guide 2020, it says the inadvertent whistle is every football official's nightmare. It usually isn't inadvertent at all, blown deliberately by an official who sincerely believes the ball is dead. Right? Some of the major contributors of an inadvertent whistle is blowing the whistle when you cannot see the ball, blowing the whistle before you are certain the player has complete or secure possession of the ball, blowing the whistle before you are certain the runner is down by rule, and not understanding dead ball rules. So there's nothing wrong with not having a whistle on a down. I don't, and this is what we get back to the coach say, playing to the whistle, playing to the whistle. There may be sometime there will not be a whistle. What you mean not available? Excuse me. I guess it's been removed. It was available when I looked before. Um, there'll be times when you don't see the ball, and if you don't see the ball, guess what? We don't blow the whistle. Period. Um, remember, I had inverted whistles. It's not something saying we don't ever do. We're not perfect, but we just got to keep reminding ourselves that don't anticipate it. Don't anticipate the player getting tackled and falling to the ground. If you don't see the ball, don't blow the whistle. And that's pretty much. And then give the player opportunity to finish. Right. So in the mechanics manual, it talks about sound the whistle, and it says A, find the ball before sound the whistle. B, when the ball becomes dead, sound whistle quickly and loudly. C, move in quickly to be certain all actions stop on whistle. And then it says all game officials, player safety is first responsibility. Find ball before signing whistle. And then it goes, so it said in A, it said it in B, and in C, it goes, actually see the ball in possession of the runner who is down or for progress stop. This prevents early whistles. And it says, when sounding the whistle, do it quickly and loudly. Be alert, in position to keep the ball in view. So sometimes you got to move as an official. Be ready to assist the covering official after whistle has sounded. And use bean bag to mark the spot at the end of a run if the whistle is sound inadvertently. You know, I probably never done that before, but it's supposed to be a bean bag on the play. And then an inadvertent whistle, the ball becomes dead immediately. Location at which the ball will be put in play and number of the next down determined by location and status of the ball when the whistle is sounded. So in football prep article, it says, one sure way to avoid blowing the whistle at the wrong time is to keep the whistle out of your mouth while the ball is live. I see officials running with the whistle in their mouth. Keep the whistle out your mouth when the ball is live. All right. Stick to your assigned coverage and do not blow your whistle on a play for which you are not responsible. I think I did that one time. I was a bike judge and I blew an inadvertent whistle and I wasn't a wing official. But hey, I'm not going to tell nobody. But anyways, don't blow your whistle. If you're not covering the play, why are you even looking over there in the big? You got a lot of things in your area you got to be concerned with. Don't blow your whistle. And if the entire crew follows the philosophy, you most likely will have 2 or 3 plays per game on which no one blows a whistle. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So let's say we have an inadvertent whistle and we're getting yelled at and whatever the case may be. So now we got to determine what we're going to do. And there's 3 categories for an inadvertent whistle. All right. The ball is loose during a legal kick or a legal forward pass, and the whistle is blown. There's only one option. You're going to replay the down. Okay. So once the ball is thrown and then they catch it, it doesn't matter if it was a complete pass or not. And you know what I forgot to do? There was a play in the NFL this year where there was an inadvertent whistle. And I meant to put that on here because they blew it when the ball was in the air. I don't know if y'all remember it. If you do, we could talk about it after it's over. But they blew the whistle and they let them keep the touchdown. And they lost their playoff seeding. The whole crew got booted off the playoffs because of it. I have a story. When I was with the high school association, I was in audition to be on the crew, and we had a game where we had this scenario happen, and my referee allowed them to keep the pass of a first down, and then when I said something, I never got put on the crew. But anyways, no resentment there. Don't blow the whistle. And this happened when they do when these teams doing these they call belly up rules, I believe. They're faking it up the middle, and then everybody think the ball is in the middle or somewhere else, and then it's somewhere else, and they throw the ball. That typically happens during those type of plays. The clean the deception is on the offense, the more likely there's going to be an inadvertent whistle because everybody's going to think the ball is down. But guess what? If you don't see the ball, don't blow the whistle. Then you don't got to worry about it. Okay. Ball loose following a backwards pass, fumble, illegal forward pass, or illegal kick. And then we have an inadvertent whistle. All right. We have two options. The ball in play where possession was lost, or replayed it down. Okay. So if the offense actually gained yardage and then they did a backwards pass and a whistle was blown or there's a fumble, they can say we'll take the result of the play. Or they can say let's go back. We'll go back to our original line of scrimmage and re-snap. So let's say there's a backwards pass behind the line of scrimmage. Obviously, they're going to go back to the line of scrimmage and replay it down. All right, and ball in player possession, two options. Accept the result of the play at the dead ball spot of the inadvertent whistle or replay it down. All right, so these are the three options. And there's a fourth option, but there's the three we want to talk about. And then when there's a foul before the inadvertent whistle, let's look at this. So that was an inadvertent whistle because
there is a penalty on the play. On defense, number 18.
So when there is a foul, and a foul prior to the inadvertent whistle, if you accept the foul, it negates the inadvertent whistle. Okay, so there might be an inadvertent whistle, but we had a foul prior to the inadvertent whistle. If they accept the foul, then all the options for the inadvertent whistle is out the window. All right, so out of bounds, we're almost done here. So let's talk about the loose ball. So there's actually two scenarios about being out of bounds. You got the scenario of a runner or a receiver in possession of the ball. Rule 229 says a ball in player possession is out of bounds when the runner or the ball touches anything other than another player or game official that is on or outside the sideline or in line. So if I'm in possession of a ball and let's say a player is out of bounds and I touch that player, or I touch the game official, it's still good. However, if I touch the down box, or if I touch a coach or anything like that, then I'm considered out of bounds. Now, for a loose ball, A loose ball is out of bounds when it touches anything, including a player or a game official, that is out of bounds. All right. So a loose ball is different than a ball in player's possession. All right. So the loose ball and the spot. All right. The yard line is determined by the foremost point of the ball. So if the loose ball roll out of bounds, then obviously if I fumble it on a 50 and it rolls out at the 45, that's the new inbound spot, the 45-yard line. If I get hit and I roll backwards and the ball roll out of bounds backwards, that's the only time you don't keep forward progress. If you fumble the ball and then it rolls out of bounds backwards, we go where the loose ball is. That's how you can lose only way you can lose your forward progress. All right, an out of bounds spot in the field of play, touches by a person out of bounds, obviously. And it says actually touched by anything. So that's why it should be no towels on the ground or anything like when players drop things on the ground, because of a loose ball hits that towel, by rule is dead, and we go by the inverted whistle rule. But that's why it shouldn't be nothing on the grounds, because if it touches anything on the ground other than the ground or an official or a player on the field, the ball is dead. All right. And between the goal lines at the nearest inbound spot, so the loose ball becomes dead, it goes to the nearest inbound spot. Behind the goal line. Now, if a loose ball is behind the goal line, there has to be some type of ruling. All right. So it's going to be a safety, a field goal, or a touchback. It's going to be something. It's just not going to be. All right. And just to know that any ball that touches the pylon is out of bounds behind the goal line. So that means it's going to be a safety, a field goal, or a touchback. All right. If it touches the pylon. All right. The runner, the ball, and the hash mark. All right. So the runner goes out of bounds. If we go out of bounds on the right side, we take it to the nearest hash mark. We don't put it in the middle of the field. We don't put it on the goalpost. We don't. It always needs to go near the nearest hash mark that it went out of bounds. I don't know. That's just the rule. The ball becomes dead in the side zone, like between like the numbers or whatever the case may be. It goes to the nearest hash mark. Doesn't go in the middle of the field. It doesn't go on the goalpost. It goes to the hash mark. All right, the ball between the hash marks is dead. It's a dead ball spot. So if it dies at the hash mark, in between the hash marks, it stays there. Outside the hash marks, it goes back to the nearest hash mark. All right, this does not apply to a legal forward pass incompletion, because it goes back to the previous spot, which means it's going to go wherever it was by we look at the lateral as well as the yard line. When it says previous spot, it means the exact same spot. A replay due to an inverted whistle, it goes back to the exact same spot. A replay on try, and we'll talk about that. They actually can make a decision to change it, whatever they want to do with that. And a free kick or snap, which follows a fair catch or awarded fair catch in the side zones. On awarded fair catch, they can decide any way they want to put it. All right. So, oh my gosh, I think this is it. All right. So, did I have another video on this thing? I thought I had another video. Let me see. I thought I had another video on this. Oh, I did. Hold on. There is another video. Give me a minute. I got to move over. Give me a second. I'm doing double duty. Alrighty. I'm doing double duties. I'm like, I had to put it over here and I forgot all about it. So this is an example of a hash mark here.
See if you agree with the mechanics used on this play.
So pay attention to the umpire when he gets the ball. You can see he's talking to the center, asking where he wanted to put the ball at.
Watch it again in slow motion.
They play this about 3 or 4 times. We're not going to look at it that many times, but I mean they were looking at the thing like 4 or 5 times. It's like a 3-minute video just repeating the same thing without getting to the point.
Let's talk about how to call it.
All right, here we go. One more time.
The crew makes a common mistake on this free kick out of bounds. When Team R chooses to put the ball in play at its own 35-yard line, the ball should be snapped from the hash mark nearest the sideline where the kick went out of bounds. This is unlike a touchback in which the receivers get to choose lateral ball position. A kick out of bounds is like any other play that ends out of bounds. Watch the
All right, so we're not going to watch it again. But if you remember, I gave out a little quiz last year. And on that quiz was ball position, and it was a out of bounds, and it was a touchback on there. And a lot of people put out of bounds, just thinking about that. Yeah, they get to either take it on the 25-yard line or take it at the out of bounds spot. I know what I know a lot of you was thinking, but when you saw a touchback on there, that should have had you thinking, because a touchback, they get to decide between the hash marks where they want it. So if you look at the takeaway at the bottom down here, there's 7 instances in which team may choose to put the ball in play between the hash marks. Kick out of bounds is not one of them. When the out of bounds spot is between the goal lines, the ball is put in play at the nearest hash mark. Okay. All right, let's go back over here. My side. Where is my thing? All right. All right. So these are the 7 instances where team A can decide where to put the ball, like on the left hash mark, in the center, on the goalpost. On a try, it don't have to be in the center of the field. I mean, like literally, we can ask the captain, where do you want the ball? On a kickoff, they don't have to kick it in the middle. They can kick it on a hash mark if they want. On a safety, after a safety, the team that's kicking is like a kickoff anyway, so they get to decide where they want to put the ball. On a fair catch, so if I do a awarded fair catch and I catch a awarded fair catch, I can, let's say I want on the hash marks, I want in the middle of the field, anywhere between the hash marks. On an awarded fair catch, same thing. On a touchback, and starting each series of overtime procedures. All right, so I put this in there. I was going to talk about it, but hey, an outdated mechanic, because when the play is over, it should be only 3 signals you're making. Signal 3, which is timeout. signal 7, which is dead ball, and signal 10, which is incomplete pass. So an old mechanic, which to be when a player is down, let's say he got a first down, we know near the sideline, we normally rewind the clock and then we stop it. Okay. However, in the new mechanics manual, that's not what they want us to do anymore. It says in the winding game clock mechanics, so the ball becomes dead inbounds near the sideline within 2 yards, begin behind the line again. The cover official use normal coverage, and after determining the ball is dead, give the start clock signal. Now, if he reached the line again near the sideline, the cover official use normal coverage, and after determining the ball is dead, stop the game clock with the timeout signal. Remember the play clock. Now that we have a play clock, the play clock only starts on 3 signals: timeout, dead ball, or incomplete. And when we wind the clock first, we let the clock run more than it should run. And then when the referee comes up, you're going to give them the little signal anyway to wind the clock. So to let you know, the new mechanic that's been here for a while, we don't do a double wind and a stop clock on a first down. And that's it, guys.